Hi, this is Lissy with Online Coping Skills, and here's another skill for when you're feeling down. So this also could work for if you're feeling up. It's actually a very versatile skill, and it's called belly breathing. And the idea behind belly breathing is that in your diaphragm, which is sort of under your ribs, that area, that sort of flat surface, there is sort of serotonin, which is also what's in your head, and it's sort of what partly brings you joy and happiness. It's what some antidepressants kind of help increase or regulate. And the idea is the specific kind of breathing kind of elicits a little bit of that. It's certainly not a replacement for medication or treatment of other kind, but for a lot of people it does work. It's a grounding skill and also might kind of regulate or bring you down. And it also is something to focus on. If you're feeling really down, it might be important to kind of focus on something other than what's going on here, but to kind of externalize in a way, kind of separate yourself from that. So I will go over the generals of belly breathing and then kind of talk you through it. So the little disclaimer is if you have breathing issues, asthma or COPD, or you're just sick or not feeling so hot, it is not regulating your breath per se, but it is noticing your breath. So for some people that have respiratory issues, they either find this physically uncomfortable or mentally uncomfortable if they're focused on pain or discomfort that they're having. Also, if at any point you feel lightheaded or unwell in any breathing exercise, any grounding, please stop and sort of take a break, check in with yourself, or change the sort of breathing pattern if you're able to. Obviously, we want you to stay well, so kind of check in with yourself. Belly breathing is also not the breathing technique that you're going to start breathing like this all day long. This is very sort of specific to being a coping skill and is best utilized kind of in short bursts. Good news is it's also a skill you can do anywhere. So I will show you how to do it and then kind of how to be discreet about doing it in a way, because it does not involve lighting candles or incense or sitting in a certain pose or anything. It's something you can do, in a meeting at work, in a lecture hall at college or uni, really on the bus. I mean, this is something that you could be standing at a bus stop and nobody would know you were belly breathing, which would be good if you have sort of anxiety issues that kind of pop up in public settings. So to start with belly breathing, it is best to put one hand on your chest and one hand on your abdomen. And the point of this, and you'll be doing this ongoing, is just to notice kind of where your breath is. So the idea behind belly breathing is when you breathe in, your stomach goes out. And for some people that feels weird or like uncomfortable, or you're maybe used to sucking your stomach in, or maybe you have some body issues. The point of this is breathe in, stick your stomach out. No, it feels a little weird at first. Trust, and there's a purpose behind kind of this style of breathing. So you're going to breathe in and stick your stomach out, and then you are going to breathe out and back in. So the point of putting your hands in this position is mostly so you can sort of feel it, because it seems funny maybe, but if you think about like breathing in and sticking your stomach out, it has this weird physical motion to it that you're not used to, because this is not how natural breath moves. So it's best to sort of start like this just to get comfortable with what it feels like, and then you'll be easier to sort of do this without this really obvious hand motion. So you're going to breathe in, out, and in. Stomach out, stomach in. And you're going to notice your hands are going to kind of do this as you go out and in. They're kind of going to be in opposite patterns as you go out and in. So over time, sitting up, you're going to be doing this. Some quick tips and tricks about how to do this, and this is more conspicuous, but for a lot of people is a good starting point, is putting your hands behind your head. Kind of opens up that part of your body, and for some people makes the sort of breath a little bit easier. It also is a little bit of a stretch, but it feels a little more comfortable for a lot of people than this breathing in, sticking my stomach out, which is, pretty unnatural feeling. So feel free to kind of do this. I've also had people who sat on a chair with their hands kind of behind them, sticking their chest out, and did belly breathing. Belly breathing, once again, is not how you're going to breathe for the next hour, but just how you're breathing right now. And it could be how you're breathing for the next, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, a couple of counts. And you'll kind of notice this like clarity and regulating your breath and kind of getting that serotonin, for some people, gives this little like calm feeling. I certainly don't run, but I've heard it is slightly similar to kind of that runner's high feeling, a little bit of a euphoria. And once again, don't do it until you get dizzy or feel pain or discomfort. So I'm going to do a few more of the belly breathing and kind of walk you through it one more time. And I will go back to this motion just sort of for demonstration purposes. So in, stick belly out, out, bring belly back, in, stick belly out, in, bring it back, in, stick belly out, exhale, and bring it back. Feel free to take slower breaths if you feel more comfortable, if you need to take shorter breaths than I do. Kind of see how this works for you. If you are feeling really dysregulated, if your head is either anxious or depressed, or just it's doing too much, whatever it is, it's way overstimulated, or for that matter, maybe you're just associating it's unstimulated. This is a good technique to kind of bring it down. It's a good grounding technique. It's also, once again, something you can do on the bus, on the train, in the tube, wherever you're at. This is also because over time, I could be belly breathing right now and you wouldn't know it. So feel free to kind of practice this while you're at home or while you're in a private place. And then if you do struggle with a moment, feel free to kind of not have to do this motion and just or this motion and just be able to take a few deep breaths. And try it out for a minute or two, nothing too long term, and see kind of how it makes you feel, and hopefully it'll provide some comfort for you. So that is the skill of belly breathing.